What do a shipyard, warplanes, and the motorcycle that conquered the desert have in common? The answer will surprise you. Prepare for a journey through time, innovation, and, yes, an explosive myth, in the history of Kawasaki. The origin, beyond steel. The year is 1878. Shozo Kawasaki, a visionary entrepreneur, founds a shipyard in Tokyo, Kawasaki Tsukiji Shipyard. His ambition, to modernize the Japanese shipbuilding industry. In an era when the world moved by steam, Kawasaki bet on steel, on constant innovation. His company grew rapidly, building not only ships, but also locomotives and bridges. The 20th century would bring new challenges and unexpected expansion, from warplanes to conquering the sky and the earth. World War I, and later World War II, drove the diversification of Kawasaki. They entered the aeronautical industry, manufacturing warplanes that soared through the skies. But the end of the war brought restrictions and the need to reinvent themselves. The sky was no longer the limit, the earth awaited. In the 1950s, Kawasaki Heavy Industries, as the company was now known, needed a new direction. The solution? Transfer their experience in engineering and metallurgy to the world of engines. First, engines for motorcycles, then, the complete motorcycle. Thus was born the first Kawasaki, the Meihatsu 125, a name you may not remember, but which marked the beginning of a legend. The era of speed, the American challenge. The 1960s were a decade of experimentation and audacity. Kawasaki set out to conquer the American market, a territory dominated by Harley-Davidson. But an ordinary motorcycle was not enough, they needed something radical, something that screamed speed. In 1969, Kawasaki launched the Mach 3, a motorcycle with a two-stroke engine so powerful that it was almost uncontrollable. It was nicknamed the Widowmaker, for its tendency to lift the front wheel unexpectedly. It was dangerous, yes, but also irresistible. The Mach 3 catapulted Kawasaki to fame, proving that they were not afraid to challenge limits. The Z1 of 1972 consolidated its reputation. A four-cylinder engine, 900 cc, and an aggressive design made it an instant classic. Kawasaki was no longer just a motorcycle manufacturer, it was a symbol of rebellion, of uncompromised power. Constant innovation. Beyond the asphalt. Kawasaki was not satisfied with speed. They expanded their catalog to include motocross bikes, jet skis, jet ski, all-terrain vehicles, ATV, and even industrial robots. The philosophy of Shozo Kawasaki, that of always seeking new challenges, remained alive. In the 1980s, the Kawasaki GPZ900R Ninja revolutionized the market. It was the first motorcycle to bear the name, Ninja, a nod to Japanese culture and a declaration of intent, stealth, precision, and lethal power. In addition, it was the first production motorcycle to exceed 240 km per hour, becoming an instant icon. The myth, or reality, of the poisoned paint. But every great brand has its dark side, its myth, its urban legend. And Kawasaki is no exception. There is a persistent rumor about a batch of Kawasaki motorcycles, produced in the 1970s, whose paint contained lead in dangerous concentrations. The story goes that factory workers, exposed to these toxic components, suffered serious health problems. Some even claim that the paint had hallucinogenic properties, causing strange behaviors in drivers. Reality or fiction? The truth is difficult to verify. Kawasaki has never officially admitted this story, but neither has it categorically denied it. Some collectors, aware of this rumor, avoid restoring certain models from that era for fear of the toxicity of the paint. Others simply consider it another legend that feeds the mysterious aura of the brand. What is certain is that, at that time, the regulation on toxic materials was much less strict than it is today. Kawasaki today, a legacy of innovation and passion. Today, Kawasaki is much more than motorcycles. It is a giant industrial conglomerate, present in sectors as diverse as shipbuilding, aerospace engineering, and robotics. But its legacy in the world of motorcycling remains indelible. Its motorcycles continue to be synonymous with power, aggressive design, and cutting-edge technology. Kawasaki has adapted to the times, incorporating traction control systems, electronic suspensions, and increasingly efficient engines. But, despite the innovation, it keeps alive the flame of rebellion, of the indomitable spirit that catapulted it to fame. Closing. Beyond the roar of the engine. The history of Kawasaki is the history of a dream, of a vision that transcended the limits of a shipyard to conquer the skies, the roads, and even the desert. It is the story of a company that was not afraid to challenge conventions, that bet on innovation and that, even in the midst of controversy, knew how to build an indelible legacy. Because sometimes, behind the roar of an engine, there is a whole story of ambition, innovation, and an explosive myth that few know. Did you like this story? Subscribe to Myths and Brands to discover more secrets behind your favorite brands. And tell us, did you know the myth of Kawasaki's poisoned paint? Leave us your comment.